Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new video, guys, where today we are going to be ranking every single Game of Thrones character on a tier list, and I'm going to be giving zero remorse. Now, you might be wondering, Josh, what does that mean? This is a no BS tier list. We have lots and lots of people to go through. So with no more yapping, let's get into it. So before we get into the video, if you guys could just hit that red subscribe button. Your boy is on the road to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. We got a very short amount of time to hit that. So please, please, please help your boy out. Today, we are going to be ranking the characters on this tier list right here, starting with carried the show. It's in the name. These characters carried the show. It would not have been the same without them. Below that, we have goated characters. These people are goated. They didn't maybe carry the show, but when they were on the screen, I was a happy man. I was entertained. They had an amazing storyline, everything like that. Then you've got amazing, under that good, mid as fuck, and then at the bottom, we've got would rather fuck a White Walker. I would rather fuck a White Walker than watch these people on my screen. I'm just being honest, and that's why it's there. And below that, considering this show is 8 seasons long with, let me show y'all real quick. That amount of people we're about to rank, I think it's fair to put some people in NPC people. You might be wondering, Josh, what are we going to be ranking these characters on? Are we ranking them on the most powerful? Are we ranking them the coolest? What I'm going to be ranking them on is mainly how entertained I am on the screen, how good of a character they are. They could technically be a quote-unquote bad person, like a villain, but still be ranked up high. Just because they're a bad person in the show doesn't mean they were a bad character. So I'm going to be ranking more on how entertained I was and how much I like that character, and also how big of like a storyline they had and like the impact on the show. I think it's more common sense of just likability rather than, you know what I mean, how good they are with a damn sword or something. By the way, before we get into this, if you guys have yet to see Game of Thrones, don't watch this shit. There's going to be an infinite amount of spoilers. I think that's common sense to say if we're ranking characters, but don't get pissed at me and be like, Josh, I didn't know yada 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 until watching your video. Yeah, use your brain. There's gonna be spoilers. Let's get that out the way. But starting off with Euron Greyjoy, I thought he was a cool character. Yeah, he was a bit of a dick. He was arrogant. He was a simp for Cersei. He wanted that Queen Badussy. But I think, I thought he was cool, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he somewhat pissed me off because he picked the wrong side, right? And he stole the throne from Yara, and all the Ironborn were just basically following this man because they didn't want a woman to lead. I thought Euron was a good character, right? I don't think he was amazing. Like, I wasn't like eyes peeled to the screen anytime he was on. I thought that battle with him and Jaime was, it was needed, but I don't know how the hell Jaime stepped out of that, getting a sword put through him, and then blood just decided to bleed out after Jaime stabbed him once. Yeah, it was a big sword, but you know what I mean? I think they could have introduced this man a lot earlier and there would have been a lot better of a story arc, so to say, rather than kind of throwing him in the later seasons, making him want that Queen Badussy, and then his fleet just getting absolutely murked and him dying, like bleeding out. You know what I mean? There wasn't much there. So next we have Rickon Stark. I'm gonna be honest, Rickon had like almost no storyline. That's the reason why I'm putting him here. Yeah, like overall he's a Stark, he's gonna be a good character, right? But I'm ranking this on like how big of an impact they had on the show and myself and how entertained I was. I don't really give two shits about Rickon. The show didn't make us give two shits about him either. He was in the more beginning seasons. Then Theon decided to take over Winterfell, and then Blood, well, I think we know what happened. They went north, escaping Theon, and yeah, it just wasn't so great. And then he just died. Big man right here decided, yeah, let me, boo! Next, we have Yara. I like Yara. I honestly thought Yara was cool. She's a badass. She went to go rescue Theon. Theon, reek! Decided to just stay in his cage. I think she's a badass, to be honest. I'm gonna put her in her amazing. I honestly liked watching Yara on screen. I thought she was cool. So I'm gonna put her in amazing. Keep in mind, these people might move after I look through a lot of stuff. Next, we have Bren. He was in one of the villages when the wildlings basically sacked that shit, killed his mom and dad, the Thens, the dudes with the nutsack faces. basically said, go tell what happened. And then Blood went to Castle Black, met up with Jon, and he would have just been in an NPC, and he would have just been in a mid character just because he didn't do much. But then bro decided to stab Daddy Jon Snow in the heart. He ended Jon Snow's life. I think his story arc was cool, just to say that, you know what I mean, a kid going to Castle Black, being in the Night's Watch this young, and deciding to do that because he had nowhere else to go. I think, quote-unquote, storyline, but, like, he just pissed me off stabbing Jon, and then Jon had to hang him, and that was just, like, a huge thing in the storyline, just because you know how good of a character Jon is, right? And then has to hang a boy. So, he would have been, like, up here, but then for stabbing Jon, I'm gonna put him down here. I think he had a better plot. I'm gonna put him here for now. Ooh, next we got Uncle Benji. Uncle Benji. So this is Jon Snow's uncle. I'm pretty sure that means Ned Stark's brother. It might have been, I don't think it's Catelyn's. I think it's Ned Stark's brother. He was in the Night's Watch. He was a ranger. This is why Jon Snow wanted to be a ranger. Then he ended up being a steward for Mormont, and then Mormont died, and you all know the story. Uncle Benji had aura. I'm not gonna lie. He saved Jon, or that one time when he was stuck with Daenerys and all them, and the Night King and the big ass lake shit that was frozen, and then he just comes in like this and saves them. He saves Bran and this chick right here. After I thought he had aura. I'm not gonna lie, I liked him. I'm gonna put him in amazing for now. Ooh, next we have Grey Worm. I like Grey Worm. Grey Worm is hard. He has a little bit of like a weird name, so to say, right? Grey Worm. But I thought he was a goated character. Like, he was a simp for Queen Daenerys, but not even a simp, you know what I mean? Him and Missandei, and just, I like this character arc a lot. I really like this man's character arc. He was a badass. He should have died multiple times, especially when they were in Marine and the Sons of the Harpy and shit. And that one Kingsguard dude that was with him died. And yeah, I like him. I think he's goated. I don't think there's much more to say, but he's goated. Next, we have Ramsay Bolton. This dude pissed me the fuck off anytime he was on screen. When he was with Sansa, when he killed Rickon, like, dude, the anger I felt when I saw Rickon running and Jon on his horse running to, oh my god, that was aura. I'm not even lying. That shit was awesome to watch. Yes, as a character, he's probably up here just because, like, he's a bad guy or whatever, but I don't give two shits. This man pissed me the hell off with his hounds. He got what he deserved. What the plot behind that, and just like the revenge that Sansa got on him, was so fulfilling when I watched that shit and get his face torn off. It was amazing. He pissed me off. Now, yeah, like I said, character-wise and like what he did for the show could be anywhere from, I would say good or amazing, just because he's a bad guy. But this guy pissed me off, and I would rather fuck a White Walker than like him. That's being real. Ooh, next we have Maester Pycelle. He had stuff in the show. He brought stuff to the show. It was funny because in the terms of the show, you know what I mean? He's got Badusi, like whores, right? They call him whores in the show, and he had one like in his bed every night as an old man. Disgusting. But yeah, I think in like him just being funny because he made jokes about Tyrion all the time and shit. I honestly thought they had comedic effect with them. I would just say, compared to a lot of the characters, I'm gonna put him at, like, it feels weird to put him above Rickon, right? I think Rickon would go, I think he would go at the bottom of mid, just for now. So yeah, he got replaced by Qyburn after he basically got stabbed when Cersei did that whole shit with blowing up the sept and everything like that. I think that I don't know, it's hard because these characters all have different things that they do for the show, right? This man didn't do much, like, obviously battle-wise and really anything in general, but it was funny to watch him on screen and shit, but he wasn't on screen much, so that's why I'm gonna put him down here. Next, we have Missandei of Noth. I'm gonna put her right here. I thought she was really sweet. She was nice, and her storyline with how she got, like, with the dragons, and I think it was season 2 or 3 when she basically got all the Unsullied, when Daenerys got all the Unsullied and then saved Missandei and everything, Missandei from Noth, and then her and Grey Worm. I like that story. And then when they killed her, I honestly, I was like, damn, I hate Cersei more than I did before. Like, I'm not even lying. Cersei pissed me the hell off when I saw that shit. So I'm not gonna lie. I thought he was a bit more entertaining when he was on screen. Like, when I watched him, he was more entertaining. But I think she might have a bigger like plot just in general throughout the whole seasons, so to say. But he had a bigger impact near the end, right? Next, I believe this is Ghost. This is John's wolf, I think. We're ranking characters, not really wolves, and I don't really want to just put a wolf. Like, the wolf's hard, bruh. So I don't know. I'm gonna put it in NPCS, but obviously the wolf's cool, right? I mean, watching the dire wolf and shit, just sweet. But I don't want to rank the wolves. I guess they're characters, right? But if I did, I honestly liked watching the wolf on screen more than any of these people. So I might put it here, but for now we're just doing characters. Okay, next we have Maester Aemon. So we didn't know that this man was a Targaryen until I think a couple seasons in, or like it was near his death. And then they made his death important, but not like hugely important. And then that's when Sam started studying and shit like that, and wanting to become a maester later on in the seasons. I thought Maester Aemon brought stuff to the story, but what I'm gonna do is put him in good, and then I'm gonna put Rick on here just because near the end he made me really pissed off at Ramsay. And I think for being a Stark and his major thing in the later seasons of technically being the Lord of Winterfell, and why Ramsay had to kill him if he wanted any claim to Winterfell and stuff like that, I think that puts him up a bit, and I was probably pissing some people off. So I'm gonna put him up here. But let's be real, he didn't have a huge amount of say or like plot in the Game of Thrones season, so to say. He didn't have much screen time. Okay, next we have Lyanna Mormont, Lady Mormont. So basically, Jorah, you know what I mean, he kind of got exiled from the Seven Kingdoms with Robert Baratheon and stuff. I can't remember fully like the plot behind that. And then he was like the spy for a bit and whatnot. But basically, I'm assuming she took over because Lord Commander Mormont, he was obviously, you know what I mean, doesn't have titles or anything because he's in the Night's Watch. So I liked her. I honestly would put her above Euron. Euron pissed me off just because of like what his character was supposed to do as pissing you off by taking Yara and stuff. But I thought he had a good plot. I liked her more though. Was I more entertained when she was on screen? Maybe not. But then when she killed the giant in the and then he crushed her, that was so sad. Like watching her, who's a badass, like probably 12 years old or something, 13 years old. I think this is the character that's in The Last of Us show. I think that's what it's in now. I think she's acting this now, and she's getting a lot of hate, but she did really well in Game of Thrones. And then like her story arc behind it of like being a badass, fighting, only giving 50 men, but like having to fight for it. I like this. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, next we have Cersei. This bitch has pissed me off more times than I can count. I would be a rich man if I got $1 every time this woman pissed me off in the show. Maybe, yeah, she's an amazing character because she's a bad person, but oh my god, did she piss me off. I thought it was cool when she blew up the Sept because that religious fuck pissed me off too, with all his like, you know what I mean, the star of the whatever. And I didn't like that part of the season. So when she blew them up, I was like, thank god that shit's over. When was it going to end? But Cersei, one, she's a brother fucker, which is weird. They make it seem normal in the show, but god damn, that is weird. Next, she basically only loves her children, but she is a psycho bitch. She didn't kill Ned Stark, but Joffrey did. We will get started with Joffrey. Cersei, she pissed me off. I would rather fuck a White Walker than like Cersei. I'm gonna stand on business for now. For you watching this right now, yes, she is an amazing character. She's probably up like here. Everything in my heart is making me want to put this bitch at rock bottom. Let me explain. She's not staying there, but let me explain why I want her here. This bitch has pissed me off more times than I can count. Killing Robb Stark and basically planning all that shit. Yeah, you could say it was her dad or whatever, but nah. She had a say in everything. Her little spies, and the only good thing I like that she did was blowing up the Sept. And then what she did in the later seasons in the end, I think they rushed everyone's character, but she just pissed me off. There's so many things that just, like, while watching her, the amount of things she did that just really got under my skin and pissed me off. I know that's what the whole show was about, and like her character was supposed to be the bad person, but she's technically the good person in the people's eyes, and the people hated her. When she did that walk naked and getting like shit thrown at her, I had the biggest smile on my face. I'm gonna put Cersei up here because I think she had a bigger, obviously she had a bigger plot. She's one of the main characters, and I think she did a really good job, and the show did a really good job of making you pissed off at her and not like her. But we can't rank that off of personal feeling because I was engaged when she was on the screen. Yes, she couldn't get over of not being queen, and she basically was just like grasping onto every last bit of power she had for it, and then all of her kids died, and she just was like, yep, I'm the queen now, bitch. But I think she's a goated character. She just really pissed me off. I would put her down here if we weren't ranking this fairly. But yeah, she's a goated character. She could almost go at carried the show. I would 100% agree if you put her up there. I would also 100% agree if you put her in would rather fuck a White Walker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a long video. We've got a lot more to go. So stay tuned, grab some popcorn, whatever the hell you want. We're getting into this. Okay, next we have Jorah Mormont, basically Lord Commander Mormont. I liked him. I thought he was honestly an amazing character. He had aura. He purposely put Jon as his steward just so he knew that Jon was a leader and he wanted him to be the next one. And I thought what they did to him with the bitch ass people who decided, yeah, now we're gonna take over that little house in the north and kill blood. That shit pissed me off. I was so mad when they killed him off, and then with all that stuff, that just like his own men killing him was just so like. They do such a good job to piss you off in this show. It's insane. But yeah, I thought he was an amazing character. I thought he had a really good arc, like a character arc. Yeah, he had to go just so Jon could be Lord Commander and everything like that. But I think he had aura, and he was a really good man, honest, whatever you want to. Yeah, guys, my camera's freezing. It's probably froze already, but just to let you know, it is freezing, so make sure to hit that subscribe button to help me get a new camera, because I'm not getting paid from these videos. But yeah, I'm gonna put them in amazing. I like them. Next, we have all the Dornish women, like all the sisters of whatever, of like the queen, or I honestly can't remember their names, the three of them. I know they had a bigger part, and one of them like basically showed their tits to Sir Bronn, and he was one in that Badusi, and then they got killed with Euron's ambush. I mean, I liked them, but I didn't because they were bad, you know what I mean? And they killed the Lannisters. They hated the Lannisters, which I did too. But I thought they were just kind of like, they were good, but I would put them probably here, to be honest. I thought they had a cool character arc. They were badass, but then they just kind of killed them off in the later seasons. So they kind of the same with like Rickon. He was good in the earlier bits, and they were there in the mid part of the seasons, but then, you know what I mean? I'm gonna put them there. Okay, next we've got Lord Edmure Tully. Is that right? I can't remember. I think that's him. I think this is this dude. He was like a bigger part in the Red Wedding, and then they kind of just like, they kind of just made him disappear. He honestly didn't have much. I'm gonna put him in mid. He took one for the team. In modern days, when you got a two-man and one of the girls is chopped and the other one's hot, basically what happened with him and Rob was he was basically getting the quote-unquote chopped shit, and then she ended up not being that chopped. I don't really know. I don't remember fully. This was the Red Wedding season. And then they kind of made him disappear. And then when Jaime had to go get the Riverlands back because Walder Frey's men are shit, then they made him pop back out. And then he didn't die, I don't think. I can't remember fully what happened. There's a reason, because it's just kind of mid. I don't think he had much of a character arc. All these people had more of a character arc than any of them. So yeah, that's where I'm putting him. Okay, guys, I am thick as shit. This is not the Maester I was thinking of. This is not Maester Pycelle. You guys were all probably like screaming at your screens like, yo, Josh, this ain't Maester Pycelle. This is the guy that Samwell, when he went to the Citadel, was with. He just kind of pissed me off because he like helped Sam. He didn't kick him out for doing that shit, and then didn't help him at all. So I'm gonna just put him at the bottom. I honestly thought he was an NPC character. He had like a few episodes of like when Sam went to the Citadel, and that was about it. So yeah, that's where I'm putting him. Okay, next is Jojen. I think this is Jojen. Well, I know it's the character that basically went north with Bran. He died. He had a good character arc. I honestly thought he had a better character arc and everything than Rickon. I would put him... I honestly think he had a better character arc with like what he did for Bran, and I was honestly pretty engaged with all of them. And then they made him disappear in season 5, I think. Like all of them, and then they popped back out, and then they killed him. Basically, I'm gonna put him here. And then same with his sister. I think his sister had a bigger character arc than him, so I'm gonna put them here For now. I mean, shit might change, but for now, I was pretty entertained when watching them. I thought they were good characters and what they did for Bran and how he already knew, like, the destiny behind everything, I guess you could say. Next, we've got one of her dragons. Is this Drogon? Viserys, I think. I don't know which one this is. I'm gonna just put them here. Like, they're not NPCs, but it's the dragons. So, obviously, yeah, the dragons are goated. When they were fully grown and shit and blowing shit up, that was awesome to watch. But I'm gonna put them down here, and then I might make a separate tier ranking all the animals right after this. Okay, next is Sir Barristan. This was the guy I talked about that died with Grey Worm with the Sons of the Harpy. I really wish they didn't kill him. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was really cool to see that, like, basically Cersei was like, yeah, we don't need you no more. We want Jaime as the Lord Commander of the King's Guard, basically. Go fuck yourself, which pissed me off even more because this guy had, like, honor and everything. And he was like, yeah, fuck off. And then he ended up saving Daenerys' life with that, like, scorpion chick or whatever the hell, when she was seeing I think when she was in Slaver's Bay, I think it's called. I thought he was a really good character. I honestly might put him, did I like them? I like them more than these people. I'm not gonna lie. We are doing this off of likability too, but we are giving some leadway. That's why this bitch is up here and not down here. But the only reason he's down here is the vile things he's done. But yeah, I like Sir Barristan. He was cool. I wish they kept him along longer. If he was in the Long Night, I think they for sure could have brought him into these episodes. I don't know if there's a reason behind, like, you know what I mean, behind the show, behind the scenes, why he couldn't stay in Game of Thrones. But I did like him. I thought he was a good character, and I honestly wish they kept him longer to see the full, basically, plot and everything with that. Next, we've got the Mountain. This guy is a hunk of a man. He's a good character. I'm gonna put him here, though, just because he didn't have much. He was basically just really feared. Then bro died because basically Oberyn sliced him up, and then Oberyn was a cocky bitch and died to him, and then they brought him back to life, and he just, like, and then the fight scene between him and the Hound, well, that was cool. That was honestly cold as hell. That might be one of the only good things that they did in that second to last episode, was him fighting his brother and then, you know what I mean, jumping off and doing that. Oh, that was so cold. But yeah, I think they basically just portrayed this man to be a hunk of a man, can never be beat or whatever. Then Oberyn sliced him up and was a cocky bitch and died. When that happened, when he was fighting for Tyrion's life, oh my god, I was so pissed. I was screaming at my screen. And then Cersei's just a little smug smirk smile. I wanted to slap that shit right off. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm gonna put him here. I think he was cool to watch, but I think these people had a lot more plot behind them, and I enjoyed watching more than this man. So yeah, next. Okay, we got the Mother of Dragons. We got Mommy. Mommy is next. I think she carried the show. I honestly think she carried the show. She was obviously one of the biggest people in the show. She's a main character. Obviously, she's going to carry the show. I want to exclude season 8 from her ranking. And the reason is that shit's just not true. They tried to say, I've watched this show twice through now, like back to back, to make sure I make a pretty good judgment of these characters. And people said there were little spots of, like, where you could notice she was going quote unquote mad, but like burning the Tullys. I don't think, like, bro decided to stand on business. She said, you will be killed if you don't kneel. And bro didn't kneel. Well, I mean, I don't see what's bad about that, right? Like, you gotta have you gotta have mercy, but not. All the good things she did, and then they just decided to, yeah, nah, she's a bad person. Let's just make her kill people. And they didn't really give, like, a meaning behind that other than her just hating Cersei. I think what would have made more sense is her rage and everything. She would never kill innocents. Her character would never kill innocents. She saved slaves, she did all that shit, she wouldn't, right? It just makes no sense. If anything, she would have gone to, like, the main King's Landing part, right? And burn that shit down with maybe a few people dying that shouldn't, right? And that would make more sense than her just burning the whole city. It just didn't make sense to me. Those last episodes really pissed me off. And I hate what they did with her character. Like, if anything, they could have, I think they wanted to show that Jon could be king and then they didn't become king or whatever. But what they did with her character really, really pissed me off. Like, really pissed me off. I think there were two ways they could have made this character better, like near the end seasons, even if they wanted to end it, which they shouldn't have. This show could have gone for like 14 seasons and still been good as shit. But they could have either made her a good person, take King's Landing the right way and do all that. Then she found out about Jon, and then she started going mad because people were claiming Jon to be the whatever, and then she raged war on the North, and then that would cause it, and they could have gone to multiple episodes with that. I thought that would have been a cool idea. Or next, they could have found out about Jon and all that bullshit before, which she did, and then her and Jon, which it wouldn't make sense, but her and Jon rule basically where North is a separate kingdom. And I don't think a couple seasons before the end, she wouldn't have minded that really, right? And the North being a separate kingdom, Jon running that, being king, them being together, working together to make sure the North, like, I don't know. Like, I'm really pissed off of what they did with her. I know this is years later and there's nothing that we can do about it, but it made no sense with it burning, like her burning everything. It just really pissed me off. Next, we've got Tyrion Lannister. Also carried the show just because of what they did with her character. I know it's not really up to her, but I like Tyrion more. He would have been lower in the, like, before the rewatch, but then when I rewatched it, I noticed, like, how much he did for the show and how, like, entertained I was with everything that he did. He had, like, the biggest, like, plot, like, change of life throughout the show. He went to the Wall, he came back, he saved King's Landing, then they say that he killed Joffrey, and then he ran, and then he was about to get killed, and he, you know what I mean, and then he went to go see Dragon Queen and helped out there with Sons of Harpy. He had a huge like plot behind him, which I really enjoyed, and he was honestly probably one of the most favorite characters in the show. He is awesome. Okay, I didn't know who this was, but then I remembered. This was the guy that held him captive in, like, in the Eyrie by Lisa Arryn, and he was the guy that, like, Tyrion basically gave a bag of gold and said Lannisters always pay their debts. He was funny, but I mean, he was an NPC-ass character, let's be real. He had, like, 1 or 2 episodes and that was it. Next, we got Sansa Stark. So, watching the show the first time and then the second time, I think her character was really nice. Nice. I thought her character arc was good, but she really pissed me off in the earlier seasons with my beloved Joffrey and everything. And then when I started liking her a lot more when she killed bitch ass Ramsay Snow. When she killed Ramsay, that's when I was like, yo, Sansa, honey, I like you. So, and then with, like, her not liking Queen Daenerys, at that point I still didn't really, like, get the whole idea of, like, making her bad or whatever. I could see the small cues, and then her telling Tyrion about Jon and shit, that's what pissed me off about her again, because if she didn't say anything, then that whole King's Landing thing probably wouldn't have happened, and killing Varys too. So I think she was a goated character. I think she goes here just because, you know what I mean, she had a huge story arc. But yeah, she pissed me off a lot, but then she made me like her too a lot. Okay, this is the guy that basically took over that one wildling house area. I can't remember what it's called, but like in the north, and Jon basically killed him. This guy pissed me off. He pissed me off. He almost had a similar character to Ramsay, of just like his whole point in the show was just to piss you the fuck off and want him killed. And then when Jon just goes and right through his mouth with a sword, oh, that made my pants feel a little smaller than they did before. I'm going to be honest. That shit, this dude just pissed me off a lot. So yeah, his death was just well deserved. I can't even remember his name, but yeah, he pissed me off. Okay, next is Beric. I think that's his name. This is the guy that's got the flaming sword and gets brought back to life a shit ton of times. Clegane killed him, and then bro just like came back to life, and they were like, what the hell? I honestly thought he was a really good character. I liked him. I was honestly pretty... I'm gonna make some changes right now. I'm gonna move her back. I liked her, but he had more of a story, I think, behind him. But yeah, Beric, he was cool. They sold off... He sold Gendry, basically, for a shit ton of money to Melisandre, which kind of pissed me off. And then bro came back and became goated with Jon and everything, and just the whole long night, everything with that, I really like. Next, I honestly can't even remember what wolf this is. You guys might be screaming at your screens right now, but I think he's probably had more impact than these people. But yeah, I can't remember the wolf. It's one of them. It might be Arya's wolf, I think, because I think this is Arya's wolf. I don't remember. It was someone's wolf. Somebody's wolf. Okay, we got Lord Tarly. Sorry, I was saying Samuel Tully. Tarly. The Tarly people is what I was talking about earlier. This is Tarly. I can't remember his full name, but this is the guy that Queen Daenerys just burned. He pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. I'm saying he's mid. He basically told Samwell he's a failure of a son. Then bro took the sword and gave it to Jorah and everything. But yeah, he just pissed me off. He was mid. I mean, I don't think he's pissed me off as much as these people. He was in for a few episodes. He basically swore allegiance to Cersei, died for it for absolutely no reason when he could be living. Let his son basically burn. I guess it was the son's fault too, but yeah. I just didn't like him as much. He didn't have much impact. Okay, next we have Edison. It was basically John's friend. I honestly thought he was a good character. I wouldn't put him in amazing. I didn't care so much about him. He was an amazing character for what he did, and then he became Lord Commander. But I honestly just wasn't as entertained as some other people might have been with him. I thought his character arc was pretty good, but I'm gonna put him here. I never really liked him. I'm gonna put him here. Next we have Sir Davos. I think that's how I say it. I just looked. I'm at an hour recording. Holy shit, this is going to be a long video. But yeah, next we have Sir Davos. I liked him. I thought he was an amazing character. I might put him up here. I thought him following Stannis and losing his fingers or whatever the hell they talked about it, and then him being with Jon and hating Melisandre, and I thought he did a really good job as an actor, and just the whole character. They did a pretty good job with him. I'm going to put him here. Next, this is one of the brothers with the one dude that was fucking Queen Daenerys. This wasn't the guy, but this was the brothers. The Brotherhood, I think they called it. This guy was just bottom of mid, to be honest. He had a few episodes, and then they just brought him the heads. I think this is Sansa's wolf here. Just put it here. They got killed pretty early because it bit Joffrey. I think that's what happened. Because Arya let her wolf run, I think is what happened. This was so long ago, guys. I can't remember. I can't remember all the names. You guys can let me know. I know what I'm talking about. I just can't remember the names. There's so many people. Next, this is Ramsay Bolton's side bitch. This is his fine shit that he was talking to every night. She pissed me the hell off. If we're thinking the bottom is the worst, I would honestly say she really pissed me off. She basically was the hound, the kettle hound, the dog hound's daughter, or whatever the hell they talked about, and with the hounds, and her ass pissed me off. And then when Theon pushed her off and she just went and died. Oh, I was so happy. This bitch pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Next we've got Lord Greyjoy. This is Theon's dad. I can't remember his full name either. I'm blanking, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, he just he was the top of mid. They didn't have much of a character thing with him, I would say. And then he just died. He was just like a mean old man is basically what they had. He didn't really care about Theon. They didn't have much behind him, so I'm gonna put him here. Okay, next is one of the Lords of Riverrun, I think it is. I can't remember his name. I can't remember anybody's name right now. But yeah, I think he was mid. He probably had a bit more of a character thingy with Sansa than... This guy just wasn't much, to be honest. I think he probably had more of an arc than these people. I think he had a bit more to play. I didn't really like any of these people. I liked him, but then what he did to Jon made me put him down here, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I'm gonna put him here. I can't even remember his name. Next, we have Brienne. I really liked Brienne. Brienne's goated. I honestly like Brienne. Brienne did a lot for Sansa. I thought she was a goated character. A lot of people might not agree with that. I thought she really pissed me off with the whole Jaime thing because I was never a huge fan of Jaime in the beginning seasons. Then they kind of made him seem like he had a better arc as a character, and then they just made him piss it off, go back to Cersei, which makes sense because in the right mind, that's what his character would do. Like, the things we do for love is what I think they were trying to get at with that. But I really liked her. She's a badass. Everyone like always like talked down on her and like, you know what I mean? Basically, a woman can't be a knight, blah, blah, blah. And then Sir Jaime knighted her, and they did a really good job with her. I like her. She's going at goated. Ned Stark. People might be mad. Yes, Ned Stark is up here. He was an amazing character. When they killed him, I was like, yo, what's going to be happening with this show? At the end of season 1, when they literally sliced his head off, I was like, yo, what's next? What's going on? Like, what's going to be happening with this show? Because Blood's dead. But he was in for 1 season, and then you have 7 seasons for the rest. So, like, I really liked his character, but I can't rank him the same as all these other characters that had me a lot more entertained because they're in for the show longer. You know what I mean? So, like, yes, he's up at carried the show, but I think that's just because people are like the Ned Stark aura. I'm gonna put him, you know what? I'm gonna put him at the top of goated just because I really liked him, but he didn't have as big of a character thingy as everyone wants to make out. Okay, next, guys, this is the one dude that was basically starting a better life for the Hound, Sir Gregor Clegane. He had like a few episodes and then they hung him. You know what I mean? Like, he was making Sir Gregor have a better life, and I really, like, that was good. They did a good job with that character, and then they hanged him. So, and obviously he had to die, so for Sir Gregor to go on for the later season and do his thing with the Long Night and the Queen and his brother and everything. But I thought he was just mid. They brought him in for a couple episodes, and they were like, oh my god, Sir Gregor's not dead, and then bro died. But I really liked when they didn't let him hang him, and then he was like, give me 2 instead of the 1, you know what I mean? And he kicked both of them off and shit. Oh, that was so hard. But yeah, I think that's mid right here. All right, next is Maester Lewin. He died with Theon when Theon took over Winterfell. I thought he was a good character. I'm honestly gonna probably put him right below Maester Pycelle, because he was, you know what I mean? I honestly think he didn't even have as much as a character arc as many people think. Like, he was in for a few episodes, and then he was like, he had to serve Theon or whatever. He was always looking out for the Stark boys, and then they killed him, and then obviously there's not much left after that. I wasn't as entertained when he was on there. He was an old dude, he was a maester, and there's not much entertaining, so to say, watching him. So yeah, I'm gonna put him here. Next is the Prince of Dorne. He was promised to Myrcella, which is Queen Cersei's daughter, and then she died or whatever. He died too because these bitch asses killed him. But he honestly didn't have much of an arc. This guy, I was more entertained with this guy on the screen. This guy probably. This guy, I'm gonna put him here. He had a few episodes, and that was about it. Guys, we still have this many people. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I think this guy somehow works with the Starks or related, but I don't remember. I really don't remember this guy, so I'm gonna put him in NPC. I don't remember him as much. Next is the one guy who can see through the crows and everything, but the wildling version. This guy pissed me off too. I'd honestly just put him at the, I don't know. I'd probably put him at the bottom of mid. He was always trying to get with John's wildling chick, and then he just kind of died, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm gonna put him here. Okay, next we have Arya Stark. I honestly thought Arya had one of the best characters, like character arc and just everything, and then her killing the Night King and her just becoming a badass. Like, from season 1 they had it set in mind that she was going to be a badass, right? And she was really cool and whatnot. I like her. She's going up here. I am running for time, so I have to go quick, but I really like her. I'm gonna put her up here. Next we've got the Queen. I honestly just she's good, but I'm not gonna lie, she's probably better than, I'm gonna put her here. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna put her here. She kind of pissed me off with a bit just because she was king hopping and stuff like that. I liked her more than Cersei as like a person, character wise, but then she thought she was gonna beat Cersei, and Cersei just basically blew her ass up with everyone else. So yeah, I'm gonna put her here. Okay, next we've got Oberyn. I really liked Oberyn. Oberyn was awesome. I'm gonna put him here. He was an amazing character. I'm gonna be honest. Oberyn, when he like basically killed the Mountain and just like his revenge plot in that season and just doing all that, when they killed him, I was pissed. I thought there could have been a decent amount more with this character, but clearly not. They had to kill him. I'm gonna put him here. I thought he was an amazing character. He did a really good job with his character and his acting. I liked it. Okay, next we've got Gren. I'm gonna put him right next to, it's hard. I'm gonna put Gren here. He died with the battle at the wildling, with the wildlings at the wall, guarding the gate and everything like that. And then he was in episodes obviously with Jon, and I think his character was a good character, hence why he's in good. But I liked all these people more and these people less. Stuff can move a little bit, but just being honest, that's where it's going. Okay, next we've got Pip. I'm gonna just do, I didn't like Pip anywhere near as much as these other people. I'm gonna put him down here. He had a bit more, obviously, probably character than these people. It's just, when I watch these, I binge watch them, and it's hard to remember each person's, like, they have so many different, like, storylines going on. It's so hard to remember these people. So, like, you guys might be thinking, like, Josh, I know this shit. It's hard for me, bro. So, like, I honestly don't remember a whole lot with Pip. He clearly wasn't a main character, and I think he died with the wildlings. The wildling attack. I can't remember exactly how he died, but it was definitely at the wildling attack if I'm right, so I'm gonna put him here. I just think I liked watching these people more. I think Maester Aemon could probably go down here too. I think I'm gonna do that, and probably this guy had a bit more fighting, so it was cool to watch him. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this for now. Okay, next we've got Lysa Arryn. She pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. She really pissed me off. She was weird. She let her like 8-year-old son suck at her tit. Like, it was like the grown-ups scene. If you guys have seen Grown-Ups, it reminded me of Grown-Ups when I saw this shit. She was pissed at Sansa. Obviously, she kissed Littlefinger, but yeah, and then Littlefinger threw her through the moon door, and it was pretty nice. But yeah, she pissed me off. Honestly, I didn't like watching her. She was a bit weird. So yeah, I'm gonna put her here. And then this man here, what's his name again? He was basically Daenerys' side chick, right? I mean, he fought for her and he was with Jorah when they went to go look for her. I just can't remember his name on me right now. But, and then she left him back in Marine, and then that was about it we saw from him. I honestly think he was a pretty good character. I would probably put him, I'm gonna put Missandei up here. I'm gonna do this for now. I liked watching him more than most of these people. Okay, next we've got Osha. Osha, not like the work shit. Asha, whatever her name is. She was a good character. I'm gonna put her with Rickon though. I honestly liked her more than Rickon. if I'm gonna be honest, I liked her more than Rickon. I'm gonna put her right here. Yeah, I mean, she had a good character thingy. She was a wildling. Rob decided to spare her and everything, and then she slit some throats and shit like that. Now we've got Maester Pycelle up next. He made like I said earlier, I think we already ranked him. I'm gonna put him with the other Maesters. I liked him more. I thought he was funnier. They had comedic effect with him. He was funnier, and he made jokes with Tyrion, like at Tyrion and shit, and he was like, oh yeah. Yes, and like always had a whore in his bed and shit. So for that, I'm gonna put him here, but it's a bit more, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's gonna be a lot more fun watching people like sword fight and shit than, you know what I mean, cooking up some concoctions and telling the kings what they should do. Next, we have Lady Stark. We have Catelyn Stark. She pissed me off freeing Jaime. Yes, it's for her kids and whatnot, but none of this shit would have happened if it wasn't for her. Rob would not be dead. None of, like, I'm telling you, none of the bad shit that happened. Like, when they killed Rob, I was like, yo, where is this show going? Same with killing Ned. I was just like, yo, what are you guys doing? But yeah, Catelyn, she pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. Like, she didn't like Jon and whatnot, and just, she had best interests at heart, but she pissed me off. I liked her more. She had more plot than all of these people. I'm gonna put her like, I honestly liked, I'm gonna put her like here. And you guys might get mad and be like, bruh, she's a Stark. It's Lady Catelyn Stark. And yeah, but like, dude, the amount of dumb shit she did, and she basically got them killed, right? Freeing Jaime was like the only thing they had that like stopped them. Rob was winning all the wars and shit. And then just, nah, bruh. Nah. Oh, this is okay. Next is the actor that Arya was supposed to kill and then she didn't. And then I think the one other bitch, the no one. I don't even know if we know the names because the faceless men and the no one people. That one blonde chick that pissed me the hell off killed her. She was an NPC though, bro. She had a few episodes of like helping Arya's character and like what the type of person she is, and she's not gonna just go kill random people and give faces and shit. But yeah, I think she's going here. She was basically an NPC. Okay, next I think is Craster. This guy pissed me the hell off too. This guy had like 8 wives, which were all his daughters, which were having granddaughters, and yeah, that shit was disgusting. It was like Alabama, but in the show. I'm not even lying, bro. That shit was chopped. And then when they killed him, I honestly liked it when they killed him, but then when they took over, they just ended up being just as worse to all the women. So when Jon went back and like led the party against them at the place, why can't I remember the place now? But yeah, Craster's Keep is what it's called. Yes. So when they let the place at Craster's Keep, it was nice to see. But yeah, this guy pissed me the fuck off. I'm not gonna lie. Next, guys, we have Pod the Rod. I'm not gonna lie, I think Pod's a goated character. Like, I really like Podrick. Like, obviously, yeah, bro, he pulling chicks. He didn't even have to pay for like the foursome he had with the whores or whatever you want to call it, right? This guy's awesome. I really like Podrick. He was cool. He was with Ser Brienne now technically, but Lady Brienne and shit like that. I liked him. Now maybe he didn't have as big of a character as these people, and you're like, Josh, why is blood going up here? I liked him. It's quite honestly, I just really liked him, so I'm gonna put him up here. Next, we've got the ex-King of Dorne. He also had a few episodes, and then he died. I'm putting him at mid. Right? He didn't do shit against the Lannisters. Yes, he wanted peace for his people and whatnot. Makes sense. But then they just killed him. He was a crippled king that just didn't do shit. And then the Dornish women killed him and then took over. And then, why are we freezing? But yeah, you guys heard. Next, I think this might be Viserys, or it was one of them. The dragons are going down here. I can't remember each dragon. Like, I honestly don't remember like which one's which. And they're all animals, and beasts and shit like that, so it just makes no sense to rank them against characters, right, that actually have plot and everything like that. Next is Bran. I think Bran is a goated character for what he did, and like the low-key kind of like the aura behind being the three-eyed raven and everything. They kind of chopped his character for like a season and basically just didn't show him because they didn't know what to do, and then he came back and then obviously had one of the bigger plots in the whole story, and like the Night King coming to get him and having the touch and stuff like that of him. But I think that I wasn't as entertained with him because he was just a bit like boring, which is the whole point of him being the three-eyed raven. He's not him anymore. But I think he had a really good character arc of being basically, you know what I mean, from going what he was to how he is now. I didn't like them making him like king or whatever at the end, or whatever the fuck they did in that last season. That doesn't even count, to be honest. But yeah, I thought he was goated. I just think I liked these people more. I mean, obviously he could go up here, but I'm gonna put him here for now because watching this dude fight was better. Sansa was probably a bit more entertaining. Next is the pirate dude. He was honestly an NPC. I'm not gonna lie. Like they brought him in for a bit, and he was, yeah, they brought him in for a bit, and he was Sir Davos's like friend or whatever that they knew for a while, and then whatnot. But I just thought he was NPC. Next is the guy that basically got all of the Tyrells in trouble because he was like, I know he's got a birthmark, and then yeah. He honestly was just an NPC ass character too. He was in, he had a few shots of basically being gay and sleeping with the men, and that was about it. He didn't have much behind it after that. Next was the witch. She pissed me off and kind of fucked the whole thing with Daenerys. Also low-key an NPC character, I'm not gonna lie. She was in for a few episodes near the end being a witch, and that was it. Okay, we're starting to get at the bottom of this list, but yeah, next we've got another NPC. It was cool to see Ed Sheeran in the show, but let's be real, he was an NPC character as well. He had probably less plot than all of these people. He just sung, and I think it was because they wanted to surprise the actor Arya, and that's why he was in the show. Correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you nerds know about this shit, but yeah, I mean, he was an NPC, let's be real. This chick pissed me off. I don't know why, because she didn't like the Lannisters, but then killing Myrcella, I was just like, yo, why you doing that shit? She's innocent. I was like, bruh, like, you're screwing Dorne over. Yes, we don't like the Lannisters, but like, there's probably a better way to do it. And then what Cersei was doing to her, I think she was a good character. She was obviously better than the daughters. I'm gonna put her here though. I was more entertained with these people, and obviously she just goes up there because she killed the giant. That one scene just made me like her a lot more. But yeah, I'm gonna put her here for now. Yeah, some people might bring her up here just because she's a main character, but I don't give two shits. Next is Samwell Tarly. I like him. I really like him. I honestly think Samwell's like up here. He might be a pussy and shit like that, but let's be real, this man is goated. The shit he does, no one believed he killed a White Walker, and I like Samwell. He's going up and goated. Next is the, oh my god, this was the chick that was, I say whore, but you guys know what I mean if you watch the show. But she was one in the north. She went to Littlefinger's place and then became like his second thingy. I can't remember what happened to her though. She's just going at the bottom of mid, to be honest. She had a few more episodes than obviously of quite a few of the NPC people, so I'm gonna put her in mid. I didn't care as much. Okay, next is Ygritte. When they killed her, that was so sad. Like when the wildlings were attacking and then this bitch ass killed her. Oh my god. Was it Gren? I think his name's Bren. I can't remember his name again. But yeah, Ygritte, I really liked Ygritte. I thought she was an amazing character. Like the what they did with Jon's character and her, I just really liked. Like she was entertaining to watch. She was a badass. I really liked her. I'm not gonna lie, she might even go up to goated. I am gonna do a once over once I rank these people. I'm doing this quickly. I'm gonna do a once over, then I'm gonna end it up. But we have quite a few more to go, guys. Like a lot. So I'm gonna kind of speed run this. Next is Melisandre. Here. I liked all these people more than her. And when she killed Stannis' daughter and burned her, god, that scene was, oh my god, I'm not mad that Sir Davos hated this chick. And then when they like revealed that she was an old woman and shit and like saggy, yeah, that was nasty. Theon, when he captured Winterfell, he would have gone here. But his story arc and bringing him back really made me like him. I honestly thought he was a better character to watch than most of these people. And then dying for Sansa and Bran and everything, I think that they did a pretty good job with Theon's character overall. So yeah, I like Theon, Reek, whatever you want to call him. Okay, next is Walder Frey. He's just a grumpy old man, a nasty old man that he's like the typical like disgusting ass like king you would think about with that shit, or lord or whatever you want to call it, of his place. He pissed me off with the red wedding, bro. That's why I'm putting him down here. Yes, like he had a decent character when they showed him, and like him being funny, and then when Arya like killed him, and then you know what I mean, did the face and poisoned all the freight. Oh, that shit was so cold to watch. But yeah, he's going down here just because he pissed me the fuck off with killing Rob and everything. So yeah, that's why he's going down here. This guy also pissed me the hell off. He hated Jon. He basically is the reason why Jon died, and then they had to bring him back to life. He obviously loved the Night's Watch and shit. But no, this guy also pissed me off. Yeah, we can rank characters and how good they are, but some of these characters just did so much that regardless of how big of an impact they had in the show, it didn't change my like effect of just really not liking them. Okay, this was Daenerys's this was Daenerys's like handmaiden, and then she like ended up like sleeping with someone that I can't remember what it was, but yeah, she was an NPC, bro. Gendry, I really like Gendry. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people might not like Gendry. He probably goes, I'm brutally ranking these people, by the way. So yeah, low key, I might move Cersei down if I'm brutally ranking them. She pissed me the hell off so many times. But yeah, I liked Gendry. I honestly liked watching Gendry. I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna put him here for now. There's so many good characters with all the different storylines, guys. It's hard. It's really hard. Okay, this is the guy that basically was like the recruiter for the Night's Watch, and then he saved Arya from King's Landing and everything like that. He had a better storyline than these people. I'm not gonna lie. I would put him here. He had a good storyline, then they killed him, and then that was that. And he was, I'm pretty sure, decent, like knew Ned Stark or whatever, and the North remembers and all that bullshit. Next we've got the Mountain, but after he died, and he was like this monster or some shit. He was a good character, I'm not gonna lie. But we already ranked the Mountain, but I guess we could rank him again just off of him being dead. But he was an NPC. He literally was an NPC, bro. He didn't say a word. Not a single word had to be spoken from this man. He probably got the fattest paycheck of just sitting in a suit the whole time, bruh, with some makeup on. I shit you not, Mans was probably getting paid. But yeah, I already ranked the Mountain. I'm going to just consider that as his ranking of where he's at. And this guy was just an NPC. The only good thing that really came out of this was when he fought his brother, is how I'm feeling. Oh my God, this is Ilan Payne. That's right, my dumbass. He killed he killed Ned Stark. They didn't do much. He was an NPC again, bro. Like, you guys like, oh, he's a character, Josh, rank him. Like, bro, all he did was kill Ned, and I don't remember really what happened after. Like, I probably should, because I've watched this twice, but, like, it's so hard to remember this long ago. He killed Ned, he was the royal executioner, and that was about it. That's all his character was. That's why he's an NPC. I ain't ranking him compared to all these people who actually had screen time. This is the Blackfish. I think the Blackfish dude. He didn't give up River Run or the place or whatever. Thought he was a mid character though, I'm not gonna lie. He helped in Rob's wars. He probably had more plot than these people though, so I'm gonna put him at the top of mid. He fought, and then Lady Brienne tried to, or Sir Brienne or whatever you want to call her, she tried to convince this man to basically, just give it up, but he didn't, and then he fought and died. So yeah. Oh, next is Qyburn. Qyburn pissed me off. Yeah, he was like, it was interesting to watch, but like, he just pissed me off because of like how bad he was, and like when he killed Pycelle, and like him just basically being Queen Cersei's like, not simp, because it's not like he was wanting that shit, but you know what I mean, like just following every command and like being the bad maester behind the bad character of Cersei, you know what I mean? Like, you saw what they were trying to do. I thought he was a good character, but like, honestly, I wasn't very, very entertained when watching him. I think he probably had a better story arc than Rickon and all these people. I'm gonna put him at like, he was more entertaining than any of these maesters, I would say, and he probably had more screen time. So I'm gonna put him here. So yeah, I am ranking this a lot more on how entertained I was and then how much I like the character. The only reason Cersei's up there for like the 5th time I've said this is just because she's a main character. This bitch pissed me off so much, she might go at the bottom. Next is another wolf, so we're putting that shit there. God, there's so many more. I think we might only be like halfway, guys. Okay, next we've got Sir Bronn of the Blackwater. He's a goated character. I'm not gonna lie. I love Sir Bronn. He might honestly go up, but nah. This guy's going and carried the show. Sir Bronn of the Blackwater, funny as shit. Gave no shits about anything. Like, he made funny jokes. He was straightforward. He saved Tyrion's life. He was serving like Jaime or whatever. And then when Cersei wanted him to kill them, he was like, yo, Remember that deal you said you'll pay twice? Yeah, I want what's twice of River Run or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about. I like him. He honestly carried the show. He was on the bad side of things, but like he was a gritty character. I really liked him. Yeah, I like these people more, but yeah, I really like them. Yeah, and this is hard to get up here. They carried the show. Like I honestly was really entertained when this man was on the screen, so I'm gonna put him up there. Next is Hodor, bruh. Not my dog Hodor, dude. Nah, Hodor. I liked Hodor a lot. Hodor was like, he had a really good plot. Mans was getting paid of just saying like, Hodor, 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 Hodor. Mans was getting a paycheck for saying nothing but just Hodor. But when they showed everything behind why they did that, I thought what he did, he was an amazing character. For jokes, I want to put him in carried the show just because. But like I think just being brutally honest, like he wasn't. You know what I mean? Like Mans was always, he didn't really have his own single shots. He was always with Bran and Rick on. You know what I mean? All them. And then when Bran was able to like transform into him and like all that shit was cold. But yeah, I think I was more entertained with these people on screen. Oh my god, nah, bro. This guy pissed me the hell off. Now, I'm glad what he did to Cersei. Cersei deserved that shit, but like these seasons with like the sept and like the religion stuff, I just didn't like fully just because it was a bit boring. With like, you know what I mean? Like just locked up in a cell and them being all like the fanatics and stuff like that. And then like the beef between the two houses and King's Landing, who has the power. Like it was cool plot, but like this guy just pissed me off just because of like Cersei. It's Cersei's fault. I like him for what he did to Cersei, but just in general of like acting like blood knew everything. But like, yeah, bro, like I just really didn't like him. Next is the Faceless Man. Actually, that taught Arya and shit like that. I thought he was a good character. He had honestly a lot of plot. I honestly think he's not going above Hodor. Dog Hodor. Nah, he's going here. He's going here. He was an amazing character. What he did for the show and like for Arya and stuff and saving them, he had a lot more plot behind him than people might think. And then he was obviously, since they served the Faceless Man god or whatever, he was obviously locked in on that, so he wasn't happy with Arya. But yeah, I liked him. He was a good character. Next is the dragon, like the dead dragon when the dead people got him. Yeah, I'm gonna just put him there. This is Viserys. Is it Viserys? Is Daenerys' brother Viserys? He pissed me off too, bro. He honestly, when they burned him, bro, like when he gave the crown when Drogo, oh my god, that was so like, it's just made me so happy inside when bro died. King Robert, oh god, where do I put him? Like, he was a good character, but also he only lasted for like a season. I think he was a good character. Now, I'm being rough. Like, he was entertaining and it was good to watch, and like, he was basically like kept Cersei at bay. He's like, yo, Cersei, shut the fuck up. Which was good, but I think if I'm being brutally honest, Ned obviously had a huger impact on me in watching the show, and I liked it a lot more than, so to say, Robert. I think I was more entertained with all of these people on screen than Robert. I might put him at the bottom of amazing just because he was the king, right? So I think he deserves that. But yeah. Next is the Three-Eyed Raven. He's at the top of... He had like a few episodes. Let's be real. He had a few episodes. It was all the aura behind the Three-Eyed Raven. And he had a few, maybe not even like 30 minutes of screen time. And then they killed him. So to rank him against all these characters that like had screen time and shit, I think he goes above he probably goes here. I think I'm going to put him here. To put him above all these other characters that had screen time when this guy had maybe 20 minutes is just not fair. He had aura behind why he was the Three-Eyed Raven and what he taught Bran, but then he just died, you know what I mean? And that was that. So for that, he was a good character, but I'm gonna put him here. Ooh, okay, we got Khal Drogo. Nah, I'm not gonna lie, Khal Drogo, I'm gonna put him up here at the top of good. It was cool to watch him like fight and shit and like just being basically the king of the Dothraki and stuff like that. But then I didn't like how they killed him, bro. Just like with him getting sick from like that cut. I think it obviously shows that like bro thought he was like goated and then he just died to like sepsis or whatever the hell it would be. But it was like the witch, the NPC ass witch that killed him. Basically, I'm gonna put him here. I didn't really understand that whole like the baby dying and all that shit. It didn't really make sense. I think they could have done a better job explaining that and what happened there. But yeah, I'm gonna put him at the top of good. I think he probably was cooler than some of these characters. But yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard. I'm gonna go back and have to re-rank this a bit. Oh! Next is Jon Snow, guys. We are bro is going here. I don't give two shits. This is the most goated character on the show. When this man was on screen, my pants got smaller. Take what you will from that. This man, goated. I'm not even saying anything else. Goated. Okay, next is Corey and Half Hand. This guy had aura behind him, guys. This guy genuinely had aura behind him. I liked him. He was cool, but then obviously John had to kill him and everything behind that. Where I want to put him, though, I wouldn't say he was an amazing character. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think he was. He probably had more plot than Robert. Dude, this is so hard. If I remember right, they didn't show him on screen a whole lot, but then when John went out north with the excursion and then got captured by the wildlings, bro had to die for John to make him, like, think they believed him. And then he kind of died for nothing-ish, because then, you know what I mean, they realized that John was inside man. It was a bit like, they knew always, but then he just didn't care. I'm gonna put him down here, to be honest. He was a good character, but, like, even Robert wasn't an amazing character. He was just king, bro, but, like, he obviously had a big plot, so I'm gonna put him up here. Oh my god, nah, bro, nah, dude, we are on a roll. Next is Joffrey, bro. Joffrey pissed me the fuck off, dude. Like, dude, this man, I'm pretty sure didn't pursue acting much longer after this shit because so many people hated him. Like, watching him die, as fucked as it sounds, brought joy to my life. Like, I was happy for the rest of that day after watching that episode. This man pissed me off so many times, I could not wait for him to die. He pissed me off more than this person. Ramsay pissed me off more than him, I'm not gonna lie. He's going here. He's going here. I really didn't like him. This is the Forest Children people. They're NPC, bruh. Like, they had the aura behind whatever they are, and then they started the White Walkers, and then she, like, saved Bran and all them when they were running in the tunnel, and that was it. Like, she didn't have an actual story arc. They just kind of introduced them, and then that was it. I think this might be like the uncle of Cersei or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's just going an NPC too. He just didn't seem like a big character. I think this is. Yeah, I think that's Kevin. I think his name's Kevin. Oh, bruh. Next is poor Shireen, bruh. She got burned alive. Nah, bruh. They did her so wrong. She was honestly a really good character. I liked her a lot. Was she as entertaining as these people? Probably not. But the way she had to go was just so wrong. I just didn't think it was right, to be honest. I think I'm putting her in good. I'm gonna put her above. I think she had. Yeah, I'm gonna put her above Rickon. She didn't deserve what she got, and her and Sir Davos's, like, relationship and her teaching him how to read and shit. I thought it was really sweet. You know what I mean? Like, they added, like, sweet touches, which I really liked. So yeah, her death was just so wrong. It was just like they're not gonna let her burn, right? Like, they're gonna cut her down. They're gonna stop it, and then watching Stannis die because of that. Honestly, I was kind of happy. Like, I don't think, like, it would have worked well with Stannis and then Queen Daenerys. It would have. I think the Cersei Queen Daenerys was a better fight with that. But yeah, what they did, he deserved everything that he got after that shit, because burning your own daughter is fucking insane. Speaking of, we've got Ramsay Bolton's dad, Lord Bolton. This motherfucker pissed me off too, because he is a cutthroat bitch. He basically was like, "Yo, John, we love you," and then right into his stomach, his heart, whatever you want to call it. This guy pissed me off. I would say, okay, let's look. Let's see who pissed me off more. He pissed me off the most. Then he pissed me off. Then I would say these two pissed me off more. Nah, I would say this guy pissed me off too, a lot, because of what he did to Rob. Then this guy was fucking weird, saying he'd let horses fuck his sister and shit. Like, no. Then, yeah. This can be changed a bit, but yeah, I think that's where he's going. He's a bitch. Oh, the Thens were hard, bro. This was honestly a cool character. Now, obviously, I didn't like him just because of, like, how weird he was, and, like, he'd eat people and shit and, like, stuff like that. But, like, he was the bad guy, the wildlings, even though they're all bad, you could say. I honestly thought he had a good character. And then, was it Samwell that killed him? I think it was Sam. He killed one of the Thens. I don't know if he killed him, but it was with, like, the bow, and he was like, and killed him. I honestly thought he had a good character, but he probably didn't have more character arc than any of these people. He didn't have more of a character than these people either. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of good. He was mid, bro. I'm gonna put him at the top of mid. We have too many people in good versus mid. Nah, these people had more of a character. I'm gonna put him here. He's in mid. It was a cool character, but, like, I mean, let's be real, it was more mid. Next is the bank dude from the Iron Bank of Bravos, who's just like, oh, I love my investments. and shit like that. Bro's an NPC, let's be real. He was in for a few episodes, he funded Queen Cersei, then lost all his money. Bro's an NPC. Okay, next is King Tommen. Guys, King Tommen, he was mid. I'm gonna be real. He was just a boring king. Like, that's his whole point. You're supposed to be a boring king. You're supposed to be nice and shit. But like, he was like however old he would be in this, like maybe 14 or something like that, 13, his character age. And he was just boring. He didn't do shit when his wife got captured. His mom got captured by the by like the, you know what I mean, the religious dude. And then he just jumped off, and they made him like kill himself after watching the set blow up and everyone die. And obviously he had to die for Queen Cersei to have the queen shit and do all that. But like, I was just like, what was the, like, bro, you could have at least added some sort of like sauce with him other than just like, you know what I mean? I thought he was just a mid. Like, they probably could, I thought they could do a lot better with him. Jaime. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I really didn't like Jaime at first a lot. Like the first, I think it was the first or second season when he came and like basically like ripped Ned Stark's leg apart with the sword or whatever. And like, I don't think he did that actually. I think it was one of his like people, like they were fighting and then the soldier just went, and I was like, bro, leave that shit to a fair fight. But, and that's like one of the only reasons, like, I was just like, nah, like, this guy really pissed me off. And then when he killed his cousin and shit, I was just like, yo, what is wrong with this guy? Pushing Bran from the window, like, this guy pissed me off. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he pissed me off at the beginning seasons. And then he had the character arc of everything. And like, in the later seasons, the show made me like him. And like, what he did with Lady Brienne and stuff, it honestly made me like him. And then, like, his character arc with Sabran, too, was really cool to watch. And then going back to Cersei, it makes sense, like the things we do for love. I think that's what they were showing. He wanted to go back to Cersei and shit, but I think he carried the show. But I'm gonna put him here. He pissed me off, but they did really well of making you like him but still get pissed off, right? Next is the dancing master in Bravos. He was cool. He was a good character. Don't get me wrong, he was a good character, but he was in the show for a few episodes to basically show the beginning of teaching Arya how to use a sword and fight and shit, and that was it. All of these people, God, my nose itches. All of these people probably had more of a plot other than this dude. Then I'm not gonna lie, all of these people probably had more of a plot. Even she had more of a plot than this man. I guess she had more screen time, but I was entertained with this guy. I like this guy, but he's mid. Let's be real. Compared to all of these characters, he's mid. He wasn't in the show much. Oh my God, guys. Okay, no, I'm wrong. This is who married Lyanna. This is the guy who married Lyanna. Rhaegar Targaryen, I think. Was it Rhaegar? I think this is Rhaegar. They look, okay, let me put them next to this. They look so similar, bro. But yeah, this guy is going in here. This guy pissed me the fuck off. But Rhaegar, they didn't have much of a character. Was he the Mad King? Is that what they showed? Was he the Mad King, or was it someone else that was the Mad King? That was a bit like what happened there with me too. Because then Robert did all this shit with the like rebelling and stuff. I'm gonna put him in NPC. He obviously has a bigger play, but they had like a few minutes of showing like the actual wedding, and that was it. I'm not ranking that compared to people who actually were in the show, right? Next is the Fool, the person that Sansa basically saved, also an NPC. He's probably near the bottom of NPCs actually. He was literally an NPC in the show. Okay, next is the Lannister that Cersei was also she just loves having sex with her family, I guess. But this was the guy that basically turned to like the religious weirdo. I can't remember his name. He pissed me off though, like in both ways. He was a pussy, and when Tyrion basically was like, "I got dirt on you, dog," and then being like the star with the, you know what I mean, those people also pissed me off. He's at like the bottom of mid, bro. He didn't piss me off, but yeah, I just didn't like him. He was mid. We got Pie, whatever, the fat guy that Arya was friends with. It feels mean because he's a nice character, but he was kind of mid. He didn't really do much other than, you know what I mean? It feels mean, but he didn't really do a whole lot other than just being kind of with Arya during the whole part, and then that's it. And these people probably had a bit more of a character than him. I'm gonna put him like here. No, these people still had more character. I'm gonna put him down like here, bro. I mean, some of these people I'm ranking because they were like better characters and they had a better plot, and then some of them I just don't like, so it's a bit off. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Next is Tywin Lannister. This guy pissed me off, but he was an amazing character. They did really well with him. He was honestly probably a goated character. Like, some of these bad people, they made you, like, other than Cersei, who really pissed me off, I honestly was pretty engaged when watching them. They were good characters. I'd probably put him at the bottom of goated. I really enjoyed it, and then, like, with him and Arya, like, that little gap in between him knowing, he didn't know she was a Stark, but him knowing that she was not, like, lowborn and shit, and she was pretending to be someone she's not. I thought that was a really good touch. Okay, next is Loras Tyrell. He was supposed to be the next part of Tyrell, and then they were just like, I thought he was just, I honestly thought he was a mid character. I didn't really enjoy him. Like, I thought he was probably here. Yeah, sorry if it's freezing, guys, but yeah, I didn't enjoy him, bro. He was a mid character, let's be real. Okay, next is Littlefinger. I thought what they did with Littlefinger was really good. Killing him, I wanted him to get one last thingy with Varys. That would have been nice to see, like, a reunion between him and Varys, and they probably could have waited for Varys when he came to Winterfell, and then them having a little kerfuffle and then him getting his throat slit still before they all came back. But I honestly thought he had a better character arc than a lot of these people. He pissed me off because he was like, he switched sides and shit, but like the gritty bit behind him, and like, you know what I mean, him, like, them making you not like him and then him doing good things and then making you not like him again. I think they did a really good job with him, but I liked so hard, guys. I'm gonna put him here for now. I'm gonna have to change a lot of this stuff because I've just been throwing people places. This is the guy that cut off Jaime Lannister's hand, and then I can't remember a whole lot. He kind of like cut, like, he switched up on Robb. He's probably like, he probably had a better character than some of these people. I like him because he cut off Robb's hand. I'm gonna put him like here, to be honest. I thought he was cool because he cut off Robb's hand. Sorry, he cut off Jaime's hand, but yeah, I'm gonna put him here. Next is Lyanna Stark. The aura behind her in the show was pretty big, but that was about it. They always, like, they started a war behind her and everything like that, but then they don't show a whole lot of her in the show. So like, that's why I'm putting her in NPC, because she wasn't really part of the show until the end part, when we figured that like, it wasn't the fact that like he like basically kidnapped her and raped her and shit. It was that they were in love and stuff like that, which was a cool twist. And then, you know what I mean, Jon Snow being Aegon Targaryen. But yeah, it was NPC, bro. Okay, next is this dude. He's basically the biggest NPC. I'm pretty sure this is the beginning where Ned Stark said, or beheaded him for saying that he saw White Walkers and men say what they want to believe and shit, but deep down he knew. Deep down that man knew that they were real, right? Yeah, he was an NPC. Next is Samwell's brother. He's dumb as shit. He didn't have to die, but for honor, he wanted to do that. Dickon. That's his name. Dickon, because then Bronn made jokes and shit. I'm putting him with his dad, bro. I just didn't like him. They were probably better than mid-character, so to say. But I would say that because they didn't have a whole lot other than when Samwell came back home when he was going to the Citadel. That's when they really showed him. So, like, mid in that aspect. And I just wasn't as entertained. So, yeah, I'm going to put him there. Next is the dude that, Lord of the Eyrie. This guy was sucking on his mom's tit until like 12 or whatever the hell, and then he's like, well, I want to see the moon door and all that shit. Bro, he was low-key an NPC, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he had a few episodes of like being a weird dude. I'm gonna put him at the bottom of like, I don't even want to do that. I want to put him lower. I'm gonna put him like, he was honestly probably better than these people. He had a bigger plot. I didn't like him much though. I'm not gonna lie. I just was like, I'm gonna put him here. I think he was mid. I think these people, like, some of them pissed me off a bit more. And obviously I like this guy more, but it's so hard, guys, to rank this shit. Oh my god, nah. This guy's going here. This guy is so weird, bro. So weird. He's going here. He is going, nah, bro. Nah. I don't even gotta say much. He's going there. Oh my god, nah. Clegane's going up here too. I liked Clegane. The Hound, bro, is going and carried the show. This man quite literally carried the show. Him fighting his brother at the end was goated to watch. Like, it was so cold to watch that shit. And then his storyline with Arya too, just so damn good. I think this guy had something to do with Arya, but I can't remember. He's going an NPC too. Yeah, he's going lower, bro. This guy's literally an NPC. I think, at least. Okay, this was the person that Theon beheaded. I can't remember his name, but I think he was a good character. I think he was probably... God, this is so hard. I think he was probably better than the Macers and definitely this guy. Probably this guy. I'm gonna put him here. Theon beheaded this dude, but I'm gonna put him right here. This is basically like the Starks grew up with this man and shit, and then he like Theon beheaded him for something. I just can't remember what. Next is Myrcella. I'm not gonna lie, Myrcella was an NPC ass character. She was like somewhat around in the beginning, then she got shipped off to Dorne. She was completely fine living. Then Cersei was like, yo, bring my daughter back home, Jaime. And then Jaime brought her back, and then she died because of poison. And then it was just like, oh, that's done. Now we hate Dorne even more. So it was just like, and that started the whole, she was an NPC, bro. Let's be real. She was an NPC. Oh my god. Look who's next. Okay, next guys is Tormund. I thought Tormund carried the show too. I'm not gonna lie. I like Tormund a lot. Like, I honestly might like him more than Clegane. Now, it's difficult to say because at the beginning, I didn't like him because of the wildling aspect and they made him to be like really bad. And then when they were with Jon and everything like that, and then his character in the later part with him and like Lady Brienne and shit. Oh, dude, that was so funny. But yeah, this guy's a badass. He kind of gave me Rick Grimes vibes with the beard and everything, the slick back hair, and like him being a badass and just like, oh dude, this guy was so funny. I thought they did a really good job with this guy's character. I don't know if he still acts, but yeah, this guy is I'm gonna put him here now, but yeah, I really like Tormund. And don't get me wrong, but I think this is the Mad King who they always talked about and shit, like wanted to burn people and all that bullshit. But yeah, I'm wrong then. So this guy's the Mad King. This is like his son or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna put him in NPC too. Like, obviously, like, he's not an NPC, but like in the show they don't have much about him other than, oh, that's the Mad King, you know what I mean? So like there's not a huge ranking here. They're just all NPCs. Same with this wolf and NPC. This is, I think, one of like the handmaidens or like the ladies in Winterfell that helped Sansa and like, or when they were young, also another NPC. Then we got Lady Tyrell. Oh, she was cold, bro. Killing Joffrey, nah, she low-key was goated for that shit. I'm not gonna lie. She's going here only because she killed Joffrey. I liked her because of that aspect, and then her hating Cersei probably more than I do. Yeah, no, she's going here. Next guy, this guy kind of pissed me off, bro. He was weird as shit. This is the guy in, I think it was Karth. That like he stole the dragons and then Daenerys burned him and shit. He didn't piss me off as much as these people, so I'm gonna put him at the top. But yeah, this guy, he still pissed me off. Okay, and then this guy's this is the next character. He was part of like the overthrowing of Craster's Keep, and he was basically a pussy and ran, and then I think the wolf killed him, if I'm right. I think the wolf killed him, but he wasn't an NPC, but he pissed me off. He honestly pissed me off, and I didn't like him. He was just a pussy. He's going here. Okay, next is Lord of Bones. So this guy basically got shit on by Tormund when they decided to go back to save the wildlings, and bro was like, nah, and then Tormund just like, oh, just smashed him. This guy, honestly, he was a mid character. Let's be real. He was cold. Like, the Lord of Bones is such a cold name, but he's probably going with the Then, bro. Like, I mean, I think it was a bit more entertained when this man was on screen than everyone else. But yeah, and there's a lot I'm gonna have to change. So stay tuned to the end, guys, because this is just, they're all going in this spot, and then I'm gonna rank each spot. Kind of just throwing them in here into the spots, and then I'm gonna rank the spots individually after. But I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put them. This is the next guy is the Tyrell dude. Like the queen's dad and shit, and he was basically just like, oh my god, Cersei wants me to go to Bravos and all that bullshit. He was also mid as hell. He might honestly just go down here in mid. I didn't like him, really. He was just boring ass character. Next is Renly Baratheon. I think he had a good, somewhat character thingy, but he had no claim to the throne. Stannis was his older brother who genuinely had the right to the throne. If you exclude the Targaryens, this man, like, Stannis was the man to have the throne, not this dude. Bro thought he deserved the throne. He would never have been able to keep it anyway because he couldn't produce a daughter, you know what I mean, because he's gay. And then Brienne, I think, was in love with him. I think that was the whole point of the show. I think he was a good character, but I'm gonna put him down here. He was just a bit boring. He said all this shit, and then he just died to a shadow, and there was not much else after that, to be honest. So yeah. Ooh, next is Robb Stark. He carried the show, bro. Robb carried the show. When they killed him, I was so pissed off. It would have been so nice to see Robb, like, and Jon together, you know what I mean, and have that. Obviously, that's not what happened, and we didn't get to see that, but I still liked him. He was a really good character. I think he carried the show. Next is Little Sam. He's... bro, this dude's an NPC. Let's be real. It's a kid. He had no part in the show other than just being a kid to Gilly, and it wasn't even Sam's son, you know what I mean? But they named him out. You know what I mean? You guys know. Next is the Night King, one of the coldest villains, bro. Like, this guy is cold. Like, literally cold. But you know what I mean? Like, cold-ass villain. It was, like, the whole build-up, and, like, I think they designed the character sweet as hell. They made him look cool. Yeah, I honestly just really like what they did with this character. They made him look cool, what he did, and just, like, obviously he didn't have to say words and shit, but just, like, the aura behind him, and then John, and Daenerys. Oh, dude, that shit was so cool. Oh, next, nah, bro. Okay, so this bitch pissed me off, but I liked her. So she was the one that was basically beating Cersei, and I was like, yo, let me take your spot, please. But she still pissed me off because she just seemed like an asshole, and then Cersei was like, I'm the last face you're gonna see before you die, and then, well, yeah, she was right about that. She was just mid, though. Let's be real, she was mid. She was probably a bit bigger of an influence than these people. I'm gonna put her, like, here. You know what I mean? She pissed me off, but then she didn't because she was to Cersei, but you know what I mean? Like, it was that weird thing where, like, you don't like Cersei, but she still pisses you off doing that shit to her. Okay, next is Stannis Baratheon's wife. I can't remember her name, but she pissed me the hell off. She didn't like her daughter because of the grayscale, then was like, yeah, this is what we need to do, and then when she saw the flames and shit, she's like, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't burn our daughter. So yeah, she pissed me off. She probably didn't piss me off as much as these people, or as much as these people, sorry, but yeah, nah, she was, bruh, she pissed me off. I think this is Tommen's cat. Bruh, people, this is it. Why the hell is this in the nah, bro, this is bottom of him. It's a cat, bro. Like, I don't care if y'all hate me or not, like, bro, that's a cat. And next, don't get me started on Shay, bro. Nah, this bitch pissed me off too. I didn't fully I might have missed the end, but the first time I watched this through, I didn't know she was sleeping with Tyrion's dad, Tywin. I didn't know she was, like, doing that. I don't know if that was the whole thing. Like, since the beginning, they all knew. I didn't get the aura behind that or whatever it was, but I thought, like, when they brought her in and then she started lying about Tyrion, and I was just like, oh my fucking god, it pissed me off. And then when Tyrion had to kill her, and then, oh my god, dude, she pissed me off. She pissed me off a lot more than this guy pissed me off a lot. I'm not gonna lie. They're all people that just, like, this guy, he was mid too, bro. This guy was married to Daenerys in Marine, and then that was about it. Then he just died with the Sons of the Harpy, and he was just saying, like, oh, we need to bring back all the master shit, and not all the people who owned slaves were bad, like, the fuck. And I don't know, just shit like that. He was just mid. He was honestly a mid character. Next we've got another wolf. Oh, we got Stannis. Stannis is goated. I'm not gonna lie, Stannis was goated. I don't know. He was cold. Like, Stannis was cold in the fact that, like, he gave zero shits. He knew what he wanted. He went for it. But I just didn't like the burning aspect with Melisandre. I just really didn't like the burning aspect. That just wasn't my thing of burning people. It didn't seem like he was the type of character to believe in all that fire magic bullshit. So where I put him is really difficult. I think I was more entertained with him and Bran. I probably was more entertained than him with Grey Worm and Sansa. And definitely Pod, but Pod deserves his spot up here. I'm gonna put him here. I thought he was goated. Next is Rob's wife that got killed when she was pregnant. It was pretty sad. I think she had a good character spot, but then just, like, after that, it was just like, you know what I mean? She came in, she was nice, she was sweet, she was hot. But then after that, it was just like, you know what I mean? And then she died. There wasn't much more after that. I think she was probably a mid character, let's be real. All these people were a bit more entertaining. I'm gonna put her here. I am gonna change this guy, so stay tuned. I know it's been a long video. You can skip to the end if you want. This guy's a pussy. He pissed me off. This was the guy that, like, basically told Jon, go fuck yourself, you're a bastard, and then Jon cut his head clean off. Well deserved. He's going, like, here. He pissed me off. Okay, next is Mance Rayder. This was basically the ruler of all the wildlings. I like this character. I honestly really like this character. I don't know if I liked him. I think he's at the bottom of goated, though. I think she deserves to go a bit lower. I think he deserves to go here. I thought Mance was a good character, but he died, and then Jon saving him, basically relieving him of getting burnt alive with the arrow was pretty cold, and then that was about it. You know what I mean? They talked this big game about this huge fight, and then, like, 100 people were able to defeat all of them. You know, it didn't seem right, but obviously they had to make it seem so that the Night's Watch won, at least just in my opinion. Next is the Lord of Whispers, Varys. What they did to Varys is fucked. What Daenerys did really pissed me off. I liked Varys. Varys was like a sly little sneaky dude. Did he care? Did I like him more than these other people? That's the real question. I thought he was goated. I liked him more. I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna have to change stuff because I like some people more for other reasons that the other people don't have. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Oh my god, nah, now it's this bitch. This bitch pissed me off, bro. I'm so glad that Arya kicked her ass, bro. She pissed me off a lot. Like, if you guys weren't mad at this chick, then you weren't watching the show right. I'm not gonna lie. We're coming to the last people. So, okay, next is this girl. She was basically an NPC, let's be real. She kind of, she was basically Lord Bolton's wife, fat wife, because he got paid in gold for her weight. Which was kind of funny because when they said that, but they hadn't introduced her yet, and then they showed her, and then she was fat, which made it a lot funnier. But then Ramsay killed her, and then I'm pretty sure the baby too, just so he could be the Lord. It was a little fucked up, let's be real, but yeah, she was an NPC. And then we've got the giant. I can't remember his name. He was a good character though, but I don't know. He was a good character. I liked him. It was cool to watch him. I honestly was a bit more entertained than these people. I put him like here. Might change. Should change. All right. Next is Sir Mormont. Jorah Mormont. He carried the show. I liked him. I liked him a lot, to be honest. Where do I put him? I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna put him here for now. Next, this guy, he kind of pissed me off too. He lied about all this shit and talked about being rich, and then had an empty pot, and then Daenerys, he switched up on Daenerys, and then Daenerys basically made him turn to bones in the vault, and didn't, you know what I mean? You guys know the rest. This guy pissed me off. He honestly he probably didn't piss me as much. Yeah, he's there. He was just a boring character. Gilly was a good character, but she had a character arc with Sam, and she was cool, and she was with them through it, and I really liked Gilly, but I'm brutally ranking them, so she's going here. Okay, and next is the guy, I can't remember his name, but this is the guy that basically brought back the other guy in the Brotherhood shit. I thought he was cool. Honestly, I thought he was a good character. I wouldn't say he was amazing, but I would say he was a good character. He was probably better than these people. He was cool. I'm gonna put him somewhere random for now. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that is absolutely everybody. If you stayed through to the end, or even if you skipped to the end, thank you for watching this far. I am going to be changing each individual row, ranking it from this being the best of it, and then obviously progressively getting worse through it, and then obviously at the very bottom being like the worst character in my mind. Keep in mind, this rank is over not just obviously how good of a character they are. They could be bad characters, but still I like them. It's more over how entertained I am over them, watching them on the screen, and then just how good of a character they are in my opinion. So I am going to change shit around and rank each individual like tier now and figure out where I want to put everyone. Some people might move, and then you guys can take a screenshot and argue where you want stuff to be in the comments. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I have made a few changes. One being I moved Cersei up because I think as much as she pissed me off, she did carry the show. She had one of the biggest plots and like the biggest, you know what I mean, storyline arc, being that she pissed me off a lot, but she did carry the show. Let's be real. I have to give her that. She did an amazing job acting and just everything like that. You guys can look at this, but this is how I rank it, being my favorite, like most entertained and going down. The only reason she's down here is just because of how much I don't like her. I'm going to put her at the bottom of the top, if that makes sense. But yes, she is a great character. Ned Stark only really being in there for one season, he still gets his spot as top goated just because of, you know what I mean, he was really entertaining when he was on screen, but he wasn't on screen for 7 more seasons, so that's why I can't give him the, you know what I mean, he didn't carry the show. He was there for 1 season. And you can look through, see these people. This guy gets up here just because of he's the ladies man, just like your boy. So he's going there. I like Stannis, but then he pissed me off burning his daughter. Sansa, she pissed me off a lot in the earlier seasons, but then came back around, so that's why she's still goated. And these people, some people can move around. Obviously, this isn't just about how much I like them or how good of a character are they. It's also how entertained I am watching. So it's really hard to rank these people when they all have different parts and how they play into the storyline and all the different storylines they have. So it's hard to rank one person over another, like Stannis and Grey Worm, when, you know what I mean, they've never seen each other, nothing like that to compare them, but they are 2 separate characters. And then yeah, going down, thought they did a really good job with Theon and like basically making him pay for what he did, and then his storyline and saving Sansa and all this shit through. You guys can see Hodor, my man right here, Hodor and shit like that. I thought Drogo was really cool. I think I was pretty entertained with him. Euron, I was pretty entertained with him. I thought it was funny that like the whole point of him was him wanting that Queen Badussy. And then yeah, going through just these he was killed a little earlier on and shit like that. I didn't end up liking this man as much. Robert, I moved down quite a bit just because like yeah, he was entertaining somewhat, but like the man's was a shit king. I didn't like him as much, and I liked Ned a lot more. And people rank him high just because he was Robert Baratheon, not because he was a great character. I think Corian moved down a bit just because he wasn't a huge part in the season. I mean, this stuff can change. It's really hard to rank one off another, if that makes sense. And then mid, I mean, the only reason bro's here is just because he was a mid king. Like, he could have done so much more. There could have been a lot more action, but he just decided to be a pussy and then just kill himself. So yeah, you guys can see right here, it was quite hard. And then obviously this NPC stuff, some of these people just like, they were literally NPCs. That's why I'm putting them there, even though they were. And then the dragons, I don't want to rank all the characters like this. I could rank them later on, but I just felt I should rank the characters and stuff like that over that. And then these people just pissed me off a lot. So this dude pissed me off the most going through, you know what I mean? So obviously it might not be the best ranking, or if you agree with it or not. So just let me know if you guys do agree with this. Drop a comment down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's been a bit of a long one. Don't forget to subscribe, and it's been your boy Josh, and peace.